Welcome everyone. So in this lecture, we will discuss some NCERT exemplar questions from the chapter Mineral Nutrition. In the previous lecture, we discussed NCERT exercise questions, right? Now in this lecture, we will discuss NCERT exemplar questions. As I told you in the starting of my classes itself, like NCERT textbook is your whole and soul for cracking NEET examination. After that, the second book will be NCERT exemplar, right? So each and every question of NCERT exemplar is equivalent like a concept only. You have to understand all the concepts which are given in NCERT exemplar also. So let us start our class. We will do the MCQs which are present in the exemplar textbook. Now the first question, which of the following roles is not a characteristic of essential element? Which is not a characteristic of essential element, they asked. Now, being a component of biomolecule, do you remember Arnon and Stout proposed criteria of essentiality? They have given 3 points, right? So they told that it should be a component of a biomolecule. Essential element should be a component of a biomolecule. Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, like that. So it should be a component of biomolecule. This is a characteristic. Then changing the chemistry of the soil. Now, how come like essential element involved in changing the chemistry of a soil? If it is changing the chemistry of soil also, so is it related to essentiality? No, right? So I think this is not matching with the criteria. Now being structural components of energy related compounds. Yes, energy related compound means ATP, chlorophyll, in that magnesium is there, phosphorus is there, they are essential elements. So this is also the criteria. So the essential element should act either as an activator or inhibitor for enzymes. Yes. So calcium, magnesium, zinc, all these are activators. There are some inhibitors also, right? So I think 1 is a characteristic of essential element. C is also the characteristic. D is also the characteristic. They asked you which is not a characteristic. This is not a characteristic. This is the answer. Next question. What is the critical concentration? Second option, they have given what is critical concentration. They have given 4 options, but then we can write down what is critical concentration. The minimum concentration below which the plant shows deficiency symptoms, the plant growth is retarded, is called as critical concentration. So what is critical concentration? We can write it as, we'll use blue color. What is critical concentration? Essential element concentration below which the plant growth is retarded, right? The minimum concentration is critical concentration. Below the minimal concentration, the plant growth will be retarded. That is called as critical concentration. Next question. Third question. Deficiency symptoms first appears in the younger leaves. If it is a mobile element, deficiency symptom will appear in the younger leaf. If it is an immobile element, deficiency symptom will appear in the older parts. So deficiency symptoms first appear in the younger leaves. That means it is an immobile element. I also told the same thing. It is an immobile element only. They're asking among the given 4 options, which is an immobile element? Among the 4 options, which is an immobile element? Come on, tell me, what are the 2 immobile elements? One is calcium, next one is sulfur. Only these 2 are immobile. Now, sulfur is the immobile element. The answer is A then. Magnesium, nitrogen, potassium are mobile elements. Fourth question. Which of the following symptoms is not due to manganese toxicity? Which of the following symptoms is not due to manganese toxicity? Brown color patches is a symptom of manganese toxicity. Excess of manganese will interfere with iron, and excess of manganese will interfere with iron absorption, will interfere with calcium, right? So calcium translocation is inhibited, correct? That just now I told you, like calcium translocation will be inhibited. Deficiency of both iron and nitrogen is induced. iron deficiency will induce, magnesium deficiency will induce, but nitrogen deficiency is not induced. So I think since nitrogen is there here, nitrogen have no relation with manganese toxicity, this will be the answer. Appearance of brown spots surrounding the chlorotic veins is the symptom of manganese toxicity. Brown colored patches. Come on, go and notice some leaves. See if there is any brown color patch surrounding the yellow colored vein. Chlorosis means loss of chlorophyll. If green color is lost, it's yellow color. Surrounding the yellow colored vein, if brown colored patches are present, then it is called as appearance of brown spots surrounding the chlorotic veins is a symptom of manganese toxicity. So none, they asked which of the following is not. Nitrogen deficiency is not due to manganese toxicity, children. Question number 5. They have given an equation. Ammonia molecule, when it is oxidized, it got converted to nitrite. And nitrite, when it is further oxidized, it got converted to nitrate. Okay. What are these two steps coming under? It comes under the second step of nitrogen cycle, nitrification, right? And these are done by autotrophic bacteria called Nitrosomonas, Nitrococcus, Nitrobacter, Nitrocystis. Do you remember? So they have given these two steps and they are asking which statements are not true for these bacteria. They have given 4 statements and they are asking which is not true for this bacteria. First one, step 1 is carried by Nitrosomonas and Nitrococcus, right? Oxidation of ammonia to nitrite is carried by Nitromonas and Nitrococcus, correct. Step 2 is carried by Nitrobacter, that is also correct. Step 2 means this one, nitrite to nitrate is done by Nitrobacter, this is also correct. Both the steps are, nitrification is also correct, that's what I told. Both the steps come under nitrification, both the steps are nitrification is also correct. These bacteria are photoautotrophs. I told you they are chemoautotrophs. They are breaking the chemicals. When they break this chemical, they get energy. Similarly, when they break this chemical, they get energy, right? So they are breaking to get energy. Using that energy, they prepare their food. So they are photoautotrophs. This is a wrong statement. They should give they are chemoautotrophs. They are chemoautotrophs, which is not true. They asked. I'm telling this is not true. And I corrected the statement also. Right, children? Excuse me. Next one is 6th question. With regarding the biological nitrogen fixation in soybean by rhizobium, identify the incorrect statement. Soybean comes under Leguminaceae Fabaceae member. Fabaceae members will host. It is a symbiotic association with the rhizobium, right? So they make root nodules in the rhizobium, will go and stay and it will synthesize nitrogenase enzyme. It converts atmospheric nitrogen into ammonia. So nitrogenase may require oxygen for its function. The bacteria, when it synthesizes the nitrogenase enzyme, nitrogenase is very sensitive to oxygen. Nitrogenase will not work if oxygen is there. That is why leg hemoglobin, which is present in the plant, acts as an oxygen scavenger. It holds the oxygen and it creates anaerobic conditions around the nitrogenase enzyme to do its function. So they asked which is incorrect, right? They asked us which is incorrect statement, and requirement of oxygen is the incorrect statement. This is the answer. And then nitrogenase is an iron molybdenum protein. We know nitrogenase enzyme contains 2 components. One component is called iron protein, another component is called iron molybdenum protein. This is correct statement. Coming to 7th question, splitting of water during photosynthesis. Splitting of water during photosynthesis. What elements will help in splitting of water? Tell me. Manganese helps in splitting of water. Chlorine helps in splitting of water. So we can write manganese helps in splitting of water. Chlorine also helps in splitting of water. Now, which is needed for synthesis of oxygen? Zinc helps in the synthesis of oxygen. Needed for synthesis of oxygen. Which element? It is zinc. Component of nitrogenase. Here we came across, then iron is a component of nitrogenase. Molybdenum is a component of nitrogenase. So what should I give the answer? Component of nitrogenase means iron and molybdenum. Pollen germination. Boron helps in pollen germination, right? Boron helps in pollen germination. Component of ferredoxin. Ferredoxin is called as iron sulfur protein. Component means iron is also the component, sulfur is also the component. So write down iron and sulfur. Okay. In exemplar, they have given this under match the following. Okay. So I took it separately. Splitting of water during photosynthesis is called photolysis. In presence of manganese, photolysis will happen. In presence of chlorine also photolysis will happen. Oxygen synthesis is done in the presence of zinc. Component of nitrogenase, iron also, molybdenum also. Pollen germination, boron helps in pollen germination. Component of ferredoxin, iron and sulfur. Last question, children. Plants can grow in. They're asking us to tick the incorrect option. Soil with essential nutrients. Yes, plants, we can grow plants if soil is having nutrients. So correct. Water with essential nutrients. This is called hydroponics. This is also correct. Either water or soil with essential nutrients. Plants, you can grow them in soil also. You can grow them in water also with essential nutrients. Fourth option, water or soil without essential nutrients. See, in water, if nutrients are not there, plant cannot grow. In soil also, if nutrients are not there, then also plants cannot grow. Plants can grow in, they're asking us to tick the incorrect option. The incorrect option is this only. So, water and soil it can grow, but you have to give essential elements. They told without essential elements. So, these are the NCERT exemplar questions. Now, we will talk about the very short answers and short answers also. Now, we will discuss very short answers and short answers also from exemplar. The first question, name a plant which accumulates silicon. The question is, name a plant which accumulates silicon. Rice accumulates silicon, wheat accumulates silicon. Let us write down the answer. One is Oryza sativum. It is rice. Next one is Triticum aestivum. Oryza sativum, Triticum aestivum accumulates silicon. Next question, children. Mycorrhiza is a symbiotic association. How do they benefit? First of all, what is mycorrhiza? It is symbiotic association of fungi with the roots of higher plant. Myco means fungi, rhiza means the roots of higher plant. What fungi will get benefit, what plant will get benefit. Now the fungal hyphae penetrate deep into the soil, absorb more minerals and more water, gives it to the plant. Plant gives shelter and sugars, food to the fungi, right? So what benefit the plant is getting? More minerals, more water. What benefit the fungus is getting? Shelter and food, right? Third question. Nitrogen fixation is shown by prokaryotes, not by eukaryotes. Why? Because eukaryotes doesn't have ability to synthesize nitrogenase enzyme. Nitrogenase enzyme is synthesized only by prokaryotic organisms. So, Y means the answer is nitrogenase enzyme. Now, next question. Carnivorous plants have special adaptations. Which nutrient they need and from where do they obtain? Nepenthes, Utricularia, right? Sundew plant, Drosera, Dionia, all these are insectivorous plants. Nepenthes I told, Utricularia I told, right? So, these are insectivorous plants. They grow in nitrogen deficient soils. They grow in the soil where nitrogen is not there. That is why they trap the insects. That is why they are called insectivorous. They trap the insect, they kill the insect. From the insect, they take that nitrogen. So it's an adaptation. Carnivorous plants, since they are eating insects, they are called carnivorous plants. Carnivorous plants have special adaptations. Which nutrient they need? They need nitrogen. And from where do they obtain? They obtain it from the insect body. They obtain it from the insects. Next question. Think of a plant that lacks chlorophyll. Parasitic plants. Cuscuta is an example. Think of a plant that lacks chlorophyll. It is a parasitic plant. Example I told Cuscuta. Then from where they will obtain the nutrition. So it is a parasitic plant, means it grows on the host. They are asking to name the host. I'll write down here. Cuscuta is a parasitic plant and host is hedge, Hedge. Host plant is hedge plant. It takes everything from the host plant only. Next question. Name an insectivorous angiosperm. Utricularia, bladderwort, nepenthes. These are examples of angiosperms with insectivorous. Anything you can write, Amma. I am writing here. Utricularia, which is called bladderwort. Next question. A farmer adds azotobacter cultures to the soil before sowing maize. Why? Azotobacter is a free-living bacteria. If you add the azotobacter to the soil, it can convert the atmospheric nitrogen and make the soil enriched with nitrogen so that the plants can grow nicely using that nitrogen. So, he is a clever farmer then. So, instead of adding urea and damaging the soil and ecosystem, he is doing organic farming. He is growing bacteria first so that the bacteria will do nitrogen fixation and plant can use that nitrogen. Now, Y means the azotobacter will fix nitrogen in the soil. What type of conditions are created by leg hemoglobin in the root nodules? In NCERT, there is a sentence, unroot the leguminaceae plant and see the root nodules have a pink colored structure because of the presence of leg hemoglobin. What is the role of the leg hemoglobin? They are asking. In this nodule, bacteria is there. Bacteria will synthesize nitrogenase enzyme. Nitrogenase enzyme will work only in absence of oxygen. So this leg hemoglobin will trap the oxygen, will hold the oxygen, creates anaerobic conditions suitable for the activity of nitrogenase children. Ninth question. Which is common to Nepenthes, Utricularia and Drosera? All these are insectivorous plants, right? Now, regarding to their nutrition, all of them are insectivorous plants. They require nitrogen. That is common for all of them. So, they require nitrogen. All these three are insectivorous plants. 10th question. Plants with zinc deficiency show reduced synthesis of which hormone? Zinc helps in the synthesis of auxin, which is a plant hormone. So, if zinc is not there, IAA, indole acid, or auxin is not synthesized. Okay, children. Now, yellow edges in the leaves is due to deficiency of dash elements. Chlorosis, loss of green color, appearance of yellow color, that too at the edges is because of deficiency of, you can tell calcium, we can tell magnesium, potassium. Deficiency will cause yellowing edges at the leaves. Next one, name a macronutrient which is component of all organic compounds. Come on, think. Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. I think carbon, hydrogen, oxygen are present in carbohydrates also, proteins also, lipids also, vitamins, nucleic acids also, right? So, name a macromolecule element which is component of all organic compounds. We can go with carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, right? Then, 13th question. Name one non-symbiotic nitrogen-fixing prokaryote. Rhizobium comes under symbiotic nitrogen-fixing prokaryote. So, non-symbiotic means Azotobacter, Derxia, Beechernicia are the examples. So, shall I write down here? Azotobacter is one example. Derxia is another example. Beechernicia is a third example. Next, 14th question. Rice fields produce an important greenhouse gas. Name it. Have you seen rice plantation, agricultural crops where rice is growing? Rice grow in waterlogged soils. When water is there, oxygen will not be there. When oxygen is not there, fermentation is happening. Anaerobic conditions are happening. Then under anaerobic conditions, methanogenic bacteria will grow and they produce methane. So name the greenhouse gas. The answer, children, is methane. they have given an equation. They're asking us what is this, what is this. Now here we need to write a keto acid. Keto acid accepts ammonia group, becomes an amino acid. It is glutamate. This comes in fate of ammonia. It comes in reductive amination. The acid here is KGA. It is alpha keto glutaric acid. I am repeating, alpha keto glutaric acid. It's a keto acid, accepts ammonia and gets reduced to glutamate. The enzyme is called as GDH. It is glutamate dehydrogenase. The name of the enzyme is glutamate dehydrogenase. 16th question. Excess of manganese leads to deficiency of calcium, magnesium and iron. Why? Yes, when manganese is toxic, this much space is there. Okay, so this much, for example, in my hand I can hold these many markers only. Beyond this, if you give me, can I hold, or it will fall down? It will fall down, right? So I can hold these many only. This much concentrate, this much space is there. In that, all it is filled with manganese. So it will interfere with calcium, magnesium and iron. If manganese is absorbed more by the plant, plant cannot take calcium. Plant shows calcium deficiency. Likewise, plant shows magnesium deficiency also. Likewise, plant shows iron deficiency also, because in that space only manganese has fixed up. We finished very short answers. Let us discuss short answers also. First question. How is sulfur important for plants? Sulfur, it is a macronutrient. Sulfur, it is an activator also. Sulfur is present in proteins. Sulfur is present, we can see sulfur in proteins in part of amino acids. They're asking, name the two amino acids where sulfur is there. One is cysteine, the other one is methionine. The two sulfur containing amino acids are, one is cysteine, the other one is methionine. So, sulfur is part of two sulfur containing amino acids called cysteine and methionine. Next question. How are organisms like Pseudomonas and Thiobacillus important in nitrogen cycle? 5 steps of nitrogen cycle. What is the last step of nitrogen cycle? Denitrification. They remove nitrogen from the soil, give it to the atmosphere, helps to maintain that equilibrium. Both of them are denitrifying bacteria. So, both of them are denitrifying bacteria. Next question. Name the technique. Here I did not draw the diagram. They have given us the hydroponic setup, that beaker, one funnel, one tube, cotton plug, plant. That setup they gave. I don't have space, I didn't draw. So name the technique. Hydroponics. What is that technique called? Hydroponics. Now name the 3 plants which are produced commercially by hydroponics. Tomato, cucumber and lettuce. What are the 3 plants produced? One is tomato, other one is seedless cucumber and the third one is lettuce. Next question. Significance of the aeration tube and the funnel. Plant requires oxygen. If you don't provide aeration, roots will die, plant will die. Feeding funnel will provide nutrients, right? So nutrients are also required for the plant. Feeding funnel will provide nutrients and aeration tube will supply oxygen. Next question. Name the crucial element in nitrogen, crucial enzyme in nitrogen fixation. Nitrogenase is an enzyme. What is that enzyme? Nitrogenase is enzyme. Does it need a pink colored pigment? The pink colored pigment is leg hemoglobin. Leg hemoglobin is very, very important for nitrogenase to do its function, because leg hemoglobin removes oxygen, provides anaerobic conditions, correct? Then identify the critical concentration and deficient concentration for two elements they have given. Now critical concentration is the minimum concentration below which the plant will show deficiency. So they're asking us to find out from other resources and tell what is the critical concentration of iron. It is 0.5 to 1%. So 0.5 to 1% is a critical concentration. Then what will be the deficient concentration? Lesser than 0.5 is a deficient concentration. So the deficient concentration is less than 0.5 percentage. Now coming to zinc, what is the critical concentration? 3.5 to 5 we have to tell. The critical concentration is 3.5 to 5 and the deficient concentration for zinc will be less than 3.5. Deficient concentration will be less than 3.5. Then farmer adds nitrogen, calcium, magnesium, iron, but the plants show calcium deficiency, iron deficiency, magnesium deficiency. Why even the farmer is providing them to the soil, why are the plants showing deficiency? Means the plants are facing manganese toxicity. The plants are facing manganese toxicity. We know manganese toxicity interferes with calcium, magnesium and iron. So we can't do anything. It is waste of adding these elements. Until manganese is there in the plant body, it cannot take calcium, magnesium and iron even if you provide. Okay. So we finished very short answers and short answers. Few long answers are there that you can just read on. So we'll soon meet with the next chapter in the next class. So if you like the content, like, share, subscribe to my channel. Thank you.